Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, in today's episode, we continue taking a look at banks' full credit card catalogs, this time focusing on Ameris Bank. So in typical fashion, we will first get to know a little bit more about Ameris as a bank. We'll talk about their earnings and reward structure, of course, their personal and business cards. Coming out on the other side of this, figuring out which cards are worth your time and attention and which ones you should pass on. So if that sounds interesting to you, of course, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Okay, first things first, again, we don't talk about Ameris as a whole, so as this series normally starts out, let's first use our classic Did You Know slide to get to know a little bit more about Ameris as a bank. And so here we have it. Now, Ameris goes back all the way to October of 1971 when they were founded as American Banking Company. Now, current state, they're headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, two interesting points here. They have 166 branches, so not a bad footprint. So those 5 states there, those are what I call full-service branches, banking branches. Now, number 4 here, they have mortgage-only branches in those 3 states as well. So if you're in those 3 states, it might be a little bit more difficult to get some of these products. Normally, they like you to be in footprint, with a bank this size. So just keep that in mind if you like something you see here. That is about enough about Ameris as a bank. We're now familiar with them. So let's now transition to their earnings and reward structure. But before we get into it, if you're a frequenter of this series or the channel, then you've probably heard of Elan Credit Card. Now, Elan Credit Card is a company that partners with smaller banks, credit unions, things like that, regional banks, and they provide the credit card services, if you will. So Elan Credit is a subsidiary or division of U.S. Bank. So, if you've seen that, I'll link the full Elan Credit video down below. But if you've seen that, that can be a good thing because, they do have some good offerings, Elan Credit. It really just depends on what offerings the bank, the partner bank, chooses to take. So, we could be in for some good cards here. So just keep that in mind. Now let's move forward and take a look at the earnings and redemptions. And so here we have it, earnings and redemptions. Now the cards earn points or cash back, but it's basically cash back, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Now you must redeem in amounts of $2,500 or $25, so that is going to be the 1 cent per point valuation right there. Now, points expire 5 years after earning date, which is always annoying. Now, the redemptions here, again, you can do statement credit, deposit into an Ameris deposit like checking or savings account, merchandise, gift cards, or travel. Now, again, when it comes to things like this, banks like this, programs like this, I would, again, treat these as cashback cards. From their own website, if you do statement credit or deposit into an account, you're getting a 1-to-1, 1 cent per point, which is the base minimum for evaluation, which I think is fine. When you get into merchandise and travel and gift cards, it's almost guaranteed you're probably not going to get 1 cent per point, which is, again, the table minimum. So if you do this, I'd be looking at these as far as cashback cards go. It's hard for me to verify because I don't have an Ameris account. I can't get in there and see what they're doing, but I think that's a fair bet. So with that in mind, now let's turn over and take a look at the cards. We'll start out with the personal cards first. So here we have it. Batting leadoff, we have the Ameris secured card. Now, classic, no annual fee, no multipliers to be had because this is a secured card. So the benefits, or more so how this works, is you open a savings account that holds the deposit. That deposit has to be between $300 and $5,000. That, in effect, becomes your credit limit. That's how the card is secured. And the deposit is refundable, which is a nice touch to see. Now, moving on, we have the Platinum card. And again, if you watch the show a lot, you know it's one of my great annoyances in life that every bank has to have a Platinum card. And it's always the most not awesome option. But anyways, no annual fee, no multipliers, and that's because this Platinum card is basically the low APR balance transfer card, so the benefit here would be 0% intro APR for the first 20 billing cycles. Now things start to get a little bit better here for the college students at least, because we have the College Real Rewards card. So no annual fee, classic multiplier here of 1.5x on all purchases. And here's where things get better now. The Everyday Rewards Plus card, no annual fee. Your multipliers here, you have a wide range, so 4x on dining and food delivery, 2x back at gas stations, 2 at grocery stores and grocery delivery, and 2 on streaming services. And here's the card that will probably interest people the most. We have the Max Cash Preferred. Now, clocking it at a $0 annual fee, we have 2 sections here. The first is the multiplier is going to be 5x on up to $2,000 in combined purchases in 2 categories of your choice. So you have the categories there. I always draw attention to home utilities because we don't see that one that often. Recreation is another one I don't see as often. Now on the bottom here, you're also going to get 2x unlimited back on one category of your choice. And again, we see some interesting options. EV charging could be nice, for some, if you've got a Tesla or Ford F-150 Lightning or something like that. So overall, this is a nice, well-rounded card. Now, those are the personal cards, so let's jump to the business next. And we start out with the classic business card. And I do love when things are named exactly what they are. So no annual fee, no multipliers, because this is basically the business version of the Platinum we just talked about. 0% intro APR for the first 20 billing cycles. Now we jump up to the business real rewards, which is basically the version of the college one we also looked at. No annual fee, but multipliers here, classic 1.5x on all purchases. Now the last business card, again, business cash preferred, is where things start to get interesting. So no annual fee, multipliers, you have a wide range here. 3 back on gas, 3 on cell phone services, 3 on office supply stores, and 3 on dining and food delivery. Benefits here, you're going to get a $100 annual software credit. Now, this does require you to make 11 consecutive software transactions on your card. So 11 months, in that 12th month, that's when the credit would pay out. I'm told this is based off of, classic MCC code. A merchant code is what they're using. So they always give the example like kind of like an Intuit QuickBooks or something like that as a software. And so there you have it. That is Ameris Bank's full credit card catalog as of mid-2022. Now again, like I said, if you're familiar here, some of these cards look familiar because they mimic the U.S. Bank offerings that we all know and love. And when you look at a smaller bank like this, it is a trap that I myself can fall into. When you look at a smaller regional bank, you're just used to the cards not being super competitive. But again, when you partner with Elan credit card, I've become a fan of them because of 3 of those cards. The business card basically mimics the U.S. Bank Triple Cash, which I have. Then they have a card, the Everyday Rewards Plus, that mimics the Altitude Go. And then the Max Cash mimics the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card. These are 3 very powerful cards in the world of cash back. So, whether you bank with Ameris and you just want to stick with them, then I think those are going to be your go-to, those 3 options there. Now, in the other hand, though, what's interesting is if you're just kind of roaming around playing the game of credit and finance for keeps, and you don't necessarily bank with Ameris, but you're in footprint, you want a card. The thing that I've seen people try to do is try to get as many of those max cash rewards cards as they can, because again, you could get the one from US Bank, you could get the one from Ameris. I have a full playlist about banks credit card catalogs, and I know we've talked about this card before, so you can go around and grab those cards and you can build out a very lethal 5% back setup. Just have each one being a dedicated card, and you can change it each quarter if you wanted to. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about Ameris down below. What do you think about the Elan credit card strategy of just grabbing as many max cash rewards? I'd be very interested to hear how many people have multiple max cash rewards cards and how you went about doing it. Let us know in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Again, my question to you guys is, if you bank with Ameris, let me know what you think about this. These options, do you have them? Of course, if you're just kind of hunting around for max cash rewards, let me know how getting multiples of those has gone and what your strategy and use cases have been. Love to get your thoughts on that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.